Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. We'll see you then. On the world-famous Smoke and Mirrors Network, welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Clint Cox with the Crash Dummies Car Club. Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We'll get you caught up on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's a Halloween spooktacular.
Oh.
Did you like that?
I like that. Did you write that?
I stole it at Walmart.
Through the self-checkout.
The self-checkout.
Do you know they're going to close on Thanksgiving because they're giving all these self-checkout employees the day off?
That's great. Glad to know that. Thank you, Jeffrey. You always come up with things like that.
I'm taking Tylenol. Never mind.
That Mars.
That's why he uses self-checkout. He doesn't pay for it. He just takes the Tylenol.
That's it. All right. Joining us now from I don't know where, but we're going to find out. It's Clint Cox, VW drag star, and let me rephrase that, drag racing star, and spokesperson for the Crash Dummies Car Club. Here he is, Clint Cox. I said those words and I thought, wait a minute, drag star. That didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. I'm sorry, Clint. Will you forgive me?
Yeah, I think my dad would be less proud of me if I was the first one, not the second one.
We always have to make our parents proud.
So Mars came up with this excuse that we have to have you in an audio format because something with your video. Where are you speaking to us from?
I'm in Euless, Texas, but it's raining up here pretty bad right now, and I see now the Spectrum guy is next door, so maybe there's something going on with the internet.
Yeah, that's it. It's raining. Where in Euless?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell everybody where Euless is.
Euless is right next to DFW Airport, so we're right between Dallas and Fort Worth.
Oh.
So not only do you have your internet out, you've got airplanes flying overhead, and that's probably the cause of the disconnect there between your...
That's who we're going to blame it on anyway.
We'll blame it on them. Anyway.
No, we'll blame it on Mars.
So, Clint, we understand that did you just come back from a drag racing event?
We just got back from one in Medford, Oregon. We didn't take a car this time. We had just put on a big event at Extreme Raceway Park in Ferris. So a lot of these guys from the West Coast and up in the Oregon and Montana, Idaho, all that area, they came down and raced with us. So we went up and hung out with these guys at one of their events up there.
Was it a VW event?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you know, I assume that there is a clique of you guys in various parts of the country, and you all race against each other in certain venues. Am I correct by dreaming that up?
Well, yeah. So obviously, to drag race a Volkswagen, it takes a pretty special kind of individual, and I use special lightly, right? Like it's is
that a special needs kind of a person?
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
You spend cubic dollars to make the world's slowest car try to go fast. So, it definitely takes a special kind of person. But like I grew up with Volkswagen, so it makes sense for me. I could be going a heck of a lot faster for a lot of money if I was racing something else for sure.
But it wouldn't be nearly as cool, right?
Well, I probably would need help.
I have a very good...
I know the Volkswagen stuff.
I've got a very good friend of mine, Todd Sheldon, up in Castle Rock, Colorado. Growing up in the mid-'70s, he had a Volkswagen, and very nice car. We put scoops on the back for the intakes. We turned the wheels around, or he did. painted them white like wagon wheels. It was a cool little car that we tootled around in. Did a lot of ski racks on the back. It was awesome.
Are all of these drag cars that you guys run, are they all full-bodied bugs from the 60s and 70s?
Most of them. There's some that race dune buggies, like the fiberglass kind, and then there's a couple of them that race like sandrail type buggies.
Oh.
But for the most part, yeah, it's all bugs and Carmen Gias, and then there's a few guys race the Type 3 like the notchbacks.
And I assume that they're all air-cooled engines, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we do allow water-cooled cars. Like we have a lady class that races with us, and they're allowed to run water-cooled cars. There's just not a lot of water-cooled cars in this area that race, but I would say 98% of the cars are air-cooled.
And what's the power adder of choice? Turbo, super, nitrous?
A couple guys run. So we just had a big race here in September. We called it Texas versus the world. There was a couple guys here with superchargers. There was a couple guys here with nitrous. Most of the cars run turbos as a power adder. A lot of the cars are just naturally aspirated, and they just run a lot of compression and race gas.
Wow.
So what?
Like we have a pro stock class that is like it's a naturally aspirated 9 pounds per cubic inch, and those guys are running high fives, low sixes in the 8th mile on a naturally aspirated engine.
That's pretty quick.
What are the years of Volkswagens that you see out there? I mean, what's the earliest?
Early to mid 50s.
Oh, my. Way back.
Yeah.
Early to mid-50s. That's the one with the little bitty oval window in the back.
Well, that's a classic there.
There's a couple with the split window.
Oh,
and then there's several of the oval windows, yeah.
What is yours?
Mine's a 60.
And why the choice of that time range of Volkswagen? Is there a benefit to that, be it chassis, engine, weight, versus one of the mid-60s, early 70s Volkswagens?
They just look cooler.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, you got to have that. You got to factor that in.
Now, are the bodied cars on their own chassis? If you want to call it that, the pan.
A lot of them are. Some of the full race cars, they're just a body on a full tube chassis, just like any race car. But most of the cars are still on their original pan. Like mine, I'm converting it. Like it's a swing axle car, and I'm converting it over to IRS and putting a bus gearbox in it with a fuel injected blow through turbo 2110. So it should run. It'll make anywhere from at the wheels probably 250 to 300 horsepower.
So with what?
And run low to mid 7s probably.
And what will it weigh?
With me in it weighs about 2,000 pounds.
So with all you just told us you're going to put on there, what does something like that cost to do?
A lot.
Let me make sure my wife's not listening.
Okay.
Yeah, there's always that criteria, yeah.
Well, like I have probably 9,000 or 10,000 in the long block, and then it'll be another, by the time I get it started, probably another 6,000 or 7,000 in fuel injection.
Okay, so
that long block's not very big.
Engine.
So you are getting the Volkswagen in the settlement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fuel injection. Now, are the parts for this available? You don't have to make this stuff up. You don't have to cobble together a fuel injection system. They've got it. The heads are all ready and everything.
Oh, yeah. There's a pretty good aftermarket support for them, especially the performance side. The factory type aftermarket stuff is kind of junk, but the performance aftermarket stuff is pretty readily available and pretty decent quality.
I have to tell you that if I were going to have me a Bug that had a hot rod motor in it, I would have to have it available to put it on the street. It'd have to have a license plate on it so I could go and tear it up on
Sleeper.
the street. So
You
to
want a
speak.
sleeper?
It wouldn't be a sleeper.
I would want a sleeper.
I would have a nice big long header hanging out the back of it. You
and
know,
it would sound wild.
it would sound wild. Yeah.
No. Sleeper.
Mine, up until recently, I had stock wheels on it. Then the rear ones were just widened, and it was full body, roll up and down windows, and has bumpers and everything, and it was a total sleeper.
Yeah. And did you have it on the street at times?
Oh, I still drive it to work and back.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Go out there and spank the occasional Mustang and Camaro just
the
to look at
Porsche.
their face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's our drag racing side of it, and then our car club. We've been doing, just regular car club stuff for. I think we started it in late 2011. And that was like with a couple guys just hanging out in the garage drinking beer, and now we're up to like, I don't know, 28 or 30 members.
That's a lot of beer now.
There's a theme to what he just said. A lot of car clubs start that way. Beer and garage.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
There you go.
Yes.
And so it's not like we don't pay dues, and we don't do, we're not super official. We have official members, and we, everybody. How do you become a member of Crash Dummies? Like, I don't really know. You just hang out if we like you.
Well, I noticed
Bring the keg.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were trying to hook up the video. I noticed you got a nice logo there on your shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, that shirt is got my car on the back. That's my T-shirt I give out at when we go to the races, or
Yeah, and you can find the car club on your Facebook page. You're out on Facebook.
Now we've got an 8th mile drag strip here up at Houston Motorsports Park. Do you guys ever come down to Houston?
Yeah, so there is some guys that race with us that are in the Houston area, and they go over there. We tried to put a race on there, and
Let me guess that the owner
Dean.
gave you a hard time.
no, he was pretty cool. But basically, we have two classes. We have like a slick tire class, and then we have a one for like street tires, like drag radial stuff.
Yeah.
And on, I guess, during our time when we race, which is about like mostly summer, Friday night we could race, I think, but most of our races had been on Saturday. Well, Saturday they run the dirt track, so the drag strip doesn't race. And then Sunday is slick tires only. And I said, hey, is there any way we can work it out, where we can allow, drag radials to come on Sunday and race? And it was a no-go. So we have not had a race in Houston yet.
Too bad.
Why? I don't understand the difference.
There's a big Volkswagen community here in Houston as well. A friend of mine, Bruce Morris, is pretty active in it.
Well,
I know Bruce.
Yep. Yeah, Bruce. I know Bruce. Bruce actually took my job over at General Motors.
Great.
When I left, good man, very smart man.
Yeah.
So
good
what-
guy for
so-
sure. I know him and his son.
where do you go around here? Or do we all have to come
If
up there
you're
to
in the-
Euless?
Yeah, how far south do you
so
come?
we
Oh,
race.
Ferris.
That's like what we call our home track, Extreme Raceway Park. We race in at Little River and Temple, and then we've been up to Wichita Falls. We've been to Red Line before they closed. There were some races at Cedar Creek, but other than that, we haven't done. I would like to go down to, what's the track down there close to Louisiana? Is it Avadel?
Evadale, yeah.
Well,
Evadale.
why don't you guys don't they have races up there at Ennis? I mean,
Yeah.
but you don't ever race on that track?
We haven't yet.
Isn't there a race coming up?
most of our stuff-
Track time's expensive.
Yeah, there's another one you ought to look at down in
Yeah.
Lufkin. They just got NHRA. They just signed in their official NHRA now because one of the guys that was at
Pine Valley?
Baytown, went up there and he's helping them elevate that track.
So I do have one of the guys that races in Houston with us. He's kind of working on the guys at Pine Valley to get a race down there.
Yeah,
That'd be close.
They've been bringing in a lot of stuff. They've been real active since the guy, I can't think of his name, that went up there from Baytown to help him out. He was had something to do with running the track out here, not Angel, but somebody below that.
I would.
Well, and
Yeah.
a lot of it too is just figuring out how to get the track right. So when we do our points races, we just kind of fill in with another event that's going on, and Galen that runs the track, he's like, well, what do y'all want from me? Nothing. We just want to race. We'll do our own entry fee and our own payout, and we'll bring our own trophies and stuff. Just give us a couple lanes and let us fill in and
sort of crashing the party.
complete
It's
our
kind of
race.
like the modified production guys kind of do that.
Yeah.
Nostalgia modified.
kind of like they did. We have one of our guys that races with us, and he's actually in the Crash Dummies also. He races in that modified production class.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. We've had them on the show a number of times. Pretty fun to watch that type of racing. Leave on the clutch kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is fun to
Yeah.
watch, and I kind of like the fill in thing. It's good for the track because they make a little money, which they need that they normally wouldn't make when these guys come to town.
Plus, they bring a different crowd to the track.
It's good
as
for the
well.
sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Well,
fun.
yeah, it's good for the fans because people that come out to watch the Volkswagen get to see the other stuff that's at the track that they normally wouldn't see. And then the people that are out there for other stuff, when they see the Volkswagens, they totally freak out.
Yeah, those Volkswagen people are off the hook, boy.
I will never forget going down to Houston International Dragway, Raceway, whatever it was, down there in Dickinson back in the day, that the first time I ever saw a Volkswagen Bug on the drag strip, and I thought, oh my God, I can't believe that this car is as fast as it is.
Wheels up.
Oh, it was unbelievable. And I'll never forget it.
I was up at East Tex up there in Porter. First
Yes.
time I saw a Volkswagen Dragster. I mean, it's a little thing. I mean, of course, it's real small, real low to the ground, and it looked like a bullet.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yeah.
It was
That
gone.
sounded funny.
We had a guy here. There were several cars that were really fast at that Texas versus the World event, and we're going to do that every year. That's going to be an annual event now up there at Extreme. But one of the guys from California, and y'all may have heard of it, I don't know, is his name's Eric Calabrese, and the car is called the Red Baron. His fastest time, so the car's been sitting for years. He got it out and ran it at the Bugorama event in Sacramento like 2 weeks before he came to Texas, and that was the first time I'd been on the track in, I'd say, 6 or 8 years probably. And then he came down here and ended up winning our outlaw class with a time of like 5:35 at like 128 miles an hour or something. And the car it's wicked fast.
Well,
But it's just it's a air-cooled Volkswagen engine with a giant turbo on it.
so how do our fans, if you want to call them that,
Sure.
get a hold of you and find out your schedule and become involved whatever level they want to? How do you do that? You got a Facebook page or something?
Yeah, so it's kind of difficult, but it's the Facebook page is Texas Volkswagen Drag Racing Association, and then we also have a Facebook page that's Texas versus the World VW Group. And so all of the races, the points races and the large, like when we did that one at the Texas versus the World, it has a car show and swap meet, and we did Power Wheels races and all kinds of stuff. So like for the kids, and it was so funny to watch. We let them go out there and use the tree, and they stage the cars, and then they raced to the 60-foot mark, and I had the big checks and everything to give them, but But yeah, so Texas Volkswagen Drag Racing Association and Texas versus the World VW Group. That's where all the events will be posted, and any questions can be asked there, and there'll be lots of pictures posted there.
If we can help you in any way, just get in touch with Mike or email us, info@inwheeltime.com, and we'll try to help promote this thing, because I'll tell you what, if you've for our followers that have never seen a true Volkswagen high horsepower event, oh my God, it is something to see.
It is.
And
do y'all do like broadcasting like a
remote broadcast from your facility?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
we sure do. And Mr. Mars is the one that would record
cool.
that. That would be cool, because as long as there's an internet line and some electricity out there, by golly, we can do it. So you just let us know. We'll be up there.
And you got to have a porta potty.
We'd love to do that.
Well, let's talk about it.
They have running water.
And porta potties, I
Outdoor
assume.
plumbing.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
it. Clint, it's great to talk to you, my friend. You take care of yourself. And
Yes, sir.
if we don't talk to you beforehand, have a Merry Christmas.
Hey, you too, buddy.
All right.
Good talking to you guys.
Thanks so much. Clint Cox, VW Drag Star.
Yeah, I've popped them.
spokesperson for the Crash Dummies Car Club.
Pop
All right.
their Facebook page.
Time now
up.
for This Week in Auto History. We love this segment. Conrad always does it, and it's your turn, sir.
In 1911 this week, a spot of English tea.
Oh.
The English Model T, Ford began in intercontinental production on this week of the first English Ford Model T left the factory in Trafford Park, Manchester, England. The first Ford assembly plant outside of North America. 3 years after production started here, Britain received its first moving assembly line at that plant, allowing the factory to pump out more than 20 Ford Model T cars per hour. The good news is they didn't have Lucas wiring on them, so they all ran. And then 1954 this week, the Ford Thunderbird begins its sales. On the heel of the debut of the Chevrolet Corvette of January 1953, Ford unveiled the concept for the Thunderbird for public use 1 month later. Engineers scrambled hard to take it from concept to production in less than a year after introducing the car. The Ford Thunderbird wowed the public at the Detroit Auto Show in 1954 and then began production October of 1954. In 1975, American stuntman Evil Knievel landed the longest motorcycle jump of his daredevil career. You know, you got to watch him jump 14 buses, clearing 133 feet over 14 Greyhound buses. The jump occurred at Kings Island near Cincinnati, Ohio. Throughout his career, Daredevil Evil Knievel jumped a Harley-Davidson motorcycle more than 75 times. Well, I think he attempted more than 75 times. I think he stuffed it a few times in the middle of there, too. Flying through the air ramp to ramp.
Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, well, that's
the
I remember
famous one
watching
there, yeah.
that one. That one ended up bad.
Yeah.
In his profession, he had 433 bone fractures, not all at once, but over time. And it earned him a Guinness Book of World Records for the most broken bones in a lifetime.
Ouch.
But I remember, that was ABC Wide World of Sports. That they always had whatever the Evil Knievel jump of
In slow motion.
Yeah,
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
That's got the ski jumper boy getting hit in the ribs. Oh, man.
And then in this week in 1975, John DeLorean founded DeLorean Motor Cars, not with a flux capacitor, but John founded DeLorean Motor Company this week. His company built one single model, the DMC-12, which first appeared as a prototype in October of 1976. DMC began production in 1981 and closed up shop just 2 years later. Although the original design called for a mid-engine, the production car actually had a rear-mounted Peugeot, Renault, Volvo fuel-injected V6 that was anemic, to say the least.
Well, that car's got nice lines.
Yeah, beautiful car, but way, way underpowered. But it would, what made it famous was the Back to the Future franchise movie. And then in 1980, the last International Harvester Scout was
I
produced.
hope it wasn't that one with that what
That
cattle
big
gate
cattle
on the
guard
front.
on the front of it.
Yeah.
You know, and this surprised me. I didn't realize that International ultimately built 532,000 Scouts through the two-decade production run. I had no idea that they had built that many of those.
I need to get some recalls in here, if you don't mind.
And then in 1999, Mr. Bean crashes his
So
McLaren
he does
F1.
another one anyway.
Yeah, why
Thank
not?
you.
Back to you, Don.
Oh, thanks a lot. Left me no
He
time
does mind.
whatsoever. Yeah. Toyota Motor on Thursday said it's recalling about 1 million Highlander large crossovers globally because of an issue that might cause areas of the front bumper to come loose. The subject vehicles are equipped with a resin lower front bumper cover assembly connected with mounting tabs. Toyota said in a news release, if there is a minor impact to the lower front bumper cover assembly that causes the mounting tabs to detach from the vehicle during normal operation, one or more parts of this assembly could detach, which could become a road hazard, increasing the risk of a crash or injury for other road users, including your own tires in the back. To fix the issue, dealers will inspect the mounting tabs and slots for damage. If no damage is found, dealers will install retention hardware with an improved design. Otherwise, dealers will replace the bumper covers and install the improved retention hardware. Why didn't they do this from the factory from the beginning?
Don't know.
Tesla Model X, failure to detect low brake fluid. Windshield not sealed properly on the Cadillac XT5 for 2024. And also the XT6 and the Acadia. Lyric from Cadillac, missing pedestrian warning sounds.
Oh, no.
Oh, I know what that sound is. Ah! No. That's the pedestrian warning.
That's
isn't
you.
it?
That's you sounding that way. Ford Mustang Mach-E high voltage battery contactor may overheat, causing a
Thermal event.
Inoperative defrosting defogger system. Ford F-150 Lightning for 2023. And finally, the pedestrian alert siren not connected for the Alfa Romeo Toenail and the Dodge Hornet.
So does it say get out of the way in Italian? Hey,
Tony.
forget about it. Get out of the way.
Tony.
All right, time now for a quick break. We'll be right back here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos is back. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, and it's an extra special one. Bring your Hot Rod Classic or Modern Classic to compete for one of the famous Chili Pepper trophies and get a free breakfast taco. Just make a donation of any size to God's Garage and Lupi's will match it. You'll be helping single mothers who need a set of wheels. It's been almost a year in the making, so you won't want to miss Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, donate what you want to God's Garage, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy at 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. It's car show season, and what better way to kick it off than a free taco and camaraderie at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Proceeds benefit God's Garage.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Real Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InRealTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher,